Before diving into the list of things you shouldn't buy at Costco, it is crucial to understand one key thing. Costco employees see the entire shopping picture every day. They don't just witness smart decisions, they also clearly see the mistakes that cause customers to quietly lose money. Remarkably, the mistakes usually don't come from expensive items, but from those that look like a steal, are familiar to the eye, and get tossed into the cart out of reflex. Costco is designed to create a feeling of savings, but that very sense of security can hide waste that lasts for years. Just by avoiding one specific item, you could save hundreds or even thousands of dollars. You'd be awesome if you liked this video.
Wow!
1. Bulk condiments. Those giant containers of ketchup, mayo, or mustard at Costco always feel satisfying to buy. The price is low, the volume is huge, and it feels like you won't have to shop again for a long time. But that peace of mind is actually where the waste begins. Condiments are not immortal. Even with proper storage, their quality drops over time. Oils separate, textures change, and flavors fade. That smooth ketchup starts to get watery, and mayo loses its richness and freshness. This happens so slowly that many people keep using them without realizing the flavor is gone. The bigger issue is the speed of use. Most families simply don't eat enough to finish a massive jar before it expires or becomes unappetizing. It's a common story. You clean out the fridge only to toss half a jar away. At that point, your savings have disappeared. Costco employees see this scenario play out every day. Bulk condiments are bought with good intentions, but usually end up forgotten in the back of the fridge. They don't just waste money, they take up valuable space, making your fridge feel cluttered and hard to manage. The smarter choice is often counterintuitive. Medium or small condiments are easier to finish while they still taste best. You pay a little more per ounce, but in exchange, you get consistent quality and zero waste. Real savings aren't about buying the most. They're about using everything you buy while it's still good. 2. Cheap lamps and lighting fixtures. When standing in the lighting aisle, many people assume a light is just a light. A lamp that looks decent, comes at a low price, and is sold in a multi-pack seems like a no-brainer. However, according to Costco staff, these are some of the most frequently returned items. The problem isn't usually the bulb, it's the components inside. To keep prices low, budget fixtures often use cheap parts, thin wiring, basic circuit boards, and poor heat sinks. This leads to flickering lights, dimming over time, and products that die young before you've actually saved any money. Buyers usually notice this after a few months. A bulb burns out early, one room is bright, while another is dim. You start wasting time replacing bulbs or checking switches when the problem is the fixture itself. These small costs and frustrations add up, making that bargain light a very expensive headache. Even worse are the safety concerns. Cheap lights often generate excessive heat, which shortens the lifespan of the device and can even pose a fire risk if installed poorly. A small saving is not worth a large risk. Lighting is a foundation of your home, not just a decoration. Investing in a reputable brand means buying stability and long-term energy efficiency. The true value isn't found at the checkout counter. It's found over the life of the product when you never have to think about it, because it just works. 3. Bulk dinnerware and glassware sets. The feeling of getting a steal when standing in front of huge dining sets is hard to deny. A package price for dozens of identical plates and bowls creates a false sense of security. You believe you have stocked up enough for all your needs for years to come. However, life is not a dream. This excess in quantity and monotony in style is often the beginning of a story full of inconveniences that few foresee. The biggest weakness of bulk sets lies in the material quality. To keep the price attractive, many sets are produced with thinner glass, thinner glaze, and low impact resistance. Initially, everything looks fine. But after a few months of dishwasher use, stacking, and frequent moving, small chips begin to appear. Glasses crack at the bottom, ceramic plates chip at the edges, and if just one piece breaks, the whole set starts to lose its uniformity. At this point, the buyer falls into a difficult position. It is not easy to buy a single replacement of the exact same model. Replacing just a few pieces is almost impossible. The result is that you have to continue using chipped items or accept throwing away more than necessary, not to mention the storage issue. Most families do not regularly use dozens of glasses or plates at the same time. They sit silently in the cupboard, taking up space, making kitchen organization cramped and inflexible. Large packages often end their life cycle by being returned or thrown in a corner. Change your mindset. Invest in small, durable, beautiful, and practical sets. This approach helps you avoid wasting space and money and makes it easy to handle occasional breakages. Remember, an item is only truly cheap when it is useful and worth keeping, not because it has many twin brothers in the same box. 4. Cheap cookware sets. The shiny appearance and variety in a Costco cookware set can create the illusion of a smart investment. It's easy to buy the whole box and think your kitchen is fully equipped. But this convenience often hides a major lack of quality. You think you're getting a lot of tools, but you're actually getting products that have been stripped of their performance to meet a low price. Most budget sets are made of thin materials with light bottoms. They have poor heat distribution. While cooking, you'll find hot spots where food burns in one area but stays raw in another. This makes cooking frustrating and time-consuming. The nonstick coating is usually the first thing to fail. It starts smooth, but after a few months, it scratches and peels. Food begins to stick, you have to use more oil, and cleaning becomes a chore. Once that coating is damaged, the pan is essentially useless. The reality is that different pieces in a set wear out at different speeds. You might end up with a ruined frying pan, but a perfectly fine stock pot, making the original set strategy a failure. Instead of saving money, you'll end up buying individual replacements anyway. The better path? Buy individual high-quality pieces. One great skillet and one heavy-duty pot will outperform a dozen cheap ones and last for years. True savings come from performance, not the number of items on your shelf. 5. Fast assembly furniture. The strongest selling point of Costco furniture is the feeling of instant gratification. Trendy designs, eye-catching colors, and pleasant prices make buyers think they just grabbed a bargain for their modern apartment. The appeal of buying fast and using immediately is strong, but the honeymoon with these items is usually short, and the quality story behind them is much less happy. The core of the issue lies in the materials. To keep prices low and make shipping easy, most of this furniture is made from particle board or MDF. They may look fine when first assembled, but their load-bearing capacity and long-term durability are very limited. After a period of use, shelves start to sag, desks wobble, cabinet doors warp. These signs of degradation do not appear immediately, but accumulate gradually, making users realize it only when it is too late. Moving makes the flaws even more obvious. Just disassembling and reassembling it once means the structure is no longer as solid as before. Screws get loose, screw holes stretch out, joints weaken noticeably. For many families, this means the item only lives fully in exactly one spot and is almost impossible to reuse when moving houses or rearranging the space. Furniture of this type is often returned in a partially damaged state, with no value for repair. At that point, the initial cheap price becomes the cost of replacing it sooner than expected. A more sustainable choice is to invest in furniture with a solid structure and good materials, even if the price is higher at the time of purchase. An item that can be used for many years and withstand space changes is always cheaper than buying replacements multiple times. Convenience only truly makes sense when it doesn't lead to constant replacement. Like the video if this surprised you. 6. Mattresses from unknown brands. Don't let the temporary comfort at the showroom deceive your body. Cheap mattresses from lesser-known brands are very good at creating a good initial impression. Soft, bouncy, and easily making buyers think they found a deal. But according to Costco employees, this is the group with the highest rate of disillusionment because that comfort quickly disappears after a short time of use. Most cheap mattresses use low-density foam to cut costs. When new, this foam layer feels soft and provides good support. But after just a few months, or even a few weeks, the material begins to collapse and lose elasticity. Indentations appear exactly where the body usually lies, causing the mattress surface to be uneven and spinal support to decline significantly. The consequence is not just a feeling of poor sleep, mild back pain, stiff neck in the morning, fitful sleep. Many people only realize the problem when these symptoms persist, but by then, the mattress is no longer eligible for return. Some lesser-known brands do not have clear trial policies, have short warranties, or are difficult to deal with, leaving buyers almost stuck with their choice. Rapid degradation after just a few months of use is the price you pay for cutting costs in the wrong place. Don't turn your back into a test subject for low-quality products. Instead, put your trust in the right place with reputable names, where quality is committed by clear after-sales policies. Buying once and using it durably for many years is still exponentially more economical than buying cheap only to get stuck in a cycle of breakage and replacement. 7. Plastic kitchen utensils. Sets of plastic kitchen utensils at Costco always look very attractive. High quantity, eye-catching colors, pleasant prices. They create the feeling that buying once is enough for all daily cooking needs. But that very convenience hides a series of problems that Costco employees have seen repeated over and over through returns. The biggest weakness of plastic utensils lies in their heat resistance. In a real cooking environment, high temperatures are unavoidable. When in direct contact with a hot pan or boiling pot, many plastic tools begin to warp, soften, or even melt and deform. After a few uses, spoon edges chip and handles weaken, making cooking operations unsafe and inaccurate. When plastic is heated beyond its heat limit, the risk of chemical leaching into food is something that makes many people start to worry. This is not something that can be seen immediately with the naked eye, but it is a silent risk accompanying every meal. Besides, plastic utensils easily scratch the surface of pots and pans, especially non-stick coatings, causing other items in the kitchen to degrade faster. Instead of wasting money on non-durable plastic, switch to silicone or stainless steel. These are the two kings in the kitchen. Silicone withstands high temperatures without degrading, while stainless steel possesses an almost eternal lifespan. The higher initial price is actually a disguised saving because you buy once and use for a lifetime. The peace of mind and stable performance they bring are the core values that every wise homemaker aims for. 8. Cheap kitchen knives. Cheap kitchen knife sets at Costco are often designed to feel like an excessive bargain. Big block, many pieces, attractive appearance, and a price much lower than buying individual knives. For many, this is a quick decision. Buy once and be done. But that very convenience silently brings many troubles during use. The core weakness lies not in the initial sharpness, but in the material. The blades are usually made from soft steel or low-grade alloy, which lose their cutting edge quickly and are hard to keep sharp. When a knife starts to get dull, the user is forced to increase hand pressure, reducing control and increasing the risk of slipping or cutting incorrectly. In reality, a dull knife is more dangerous than a sharp one. From an operational perspective, Costco employees frequently receive knife sets returned due to repeated faults, chipped blades, loose handles, and poor balance. Even when resharpened, poor quality steel does not hold an edge for long, leaving users in a vicious cycle, accepting unpleasant and unsafe cooking, or soon spending money on a new set. There is also structural waste. Most families only regularly use one or two basic types of knives, while the rest almost sit still in the drawer. High quantity does not equal high efficiency, and actual usage value is often lower than expected. A more reasonable approach is selective investment. A well-made chef's knife with standard balance and high-quality steel, if maintained correctly, can be used for many years. It brings precision, safety, and superior control. In the kitchen, the less is more strategy is always more effective than owning many non-durable items. 9. Cheap heavy-duty storage shelves. Storage shelf sets labeled heavy-duty at Costco often make a very convincing initial impression. Bulky metal frames, wide dimensions, and prices much more pleasant than specialized industrial shelving. For the need to organize heavy items in the garage or basement, this seems like a reasonable choice. However, real-world experience shows that high load capacity does not always mean corresponding durability. The problem usually doesn't appear immediately, but reveals itself over time. Many models use thinner steel than standard, combined with plywood or composite materials with only minimal moisture treatment. In environments with fluctuating humidity, shelf surfaces easily sag. Frames begin to deform slightly, and joints gradually lose rigidity. The most dangerous part is the false sense of security. Users believe the shelf is strong enough to carry tools, food reserves, or valuable items, but just one weak point in the structure or uneven load distribution can cause the shelf to wobble, tilt, or collapse level by level. Cases of returns because shelves became unstable and damaged belongings are not rare at all. In the long run, the lifespan makes the cheap price equation less attractive. A set of shelves that has to be replaced after a few years has a higher actual cost than investing immediately in standard industrial steel shelving, which is designed to bear continuous loads and keep its shape stable for many years. Effective storage is not just about utilizing space, but also about protecting assets and having peace of mind every time you place more items on the shelf. 10. Cheap office chairs. Low-priced office chair models at Costco often score points very quickly when first tested. Plump appearance, thick soft cushions, and full armrests and backrests. Compared to the price, many believe this is a reasonable solution for a home workspace or small office. However, this initial comfort is only temporary and does not reflect long-term usage quality. The core limitation lies in the design philosophy. The lower back support is often placed incorrectly or is too shallow, not fitting the spinal structure. The seat cushion uses low-density foam, so it flattens quickly, losing elasticity under continuous load. When the cushion layer no longer provides support, the body is forced to adjust to a forced posture, leading to shoulder fatigue, neck strain, and accumulated back pain over time. Regarding actual use, negative feedback repeats quite similarly. Less than a year in, many chairs start to squeak, armrests get loose, or the chair cylinder loses balance. When mechanical details degrade, the feeling of stability almost disappears. Users face two choices: accept the discomfort or replace the chair with a new one and realize the initial savings no longer have meaning. What is often underestimated is the intensity of use. An office chair is where many people sit for hours every day, repeating for many years. Trading support for a low price is essentially transferring the cost from your wallet to your long-term health. Choose a chair designed with proper ergonomics, durable materials, and a stable structure. Even if the initial cost is higher, this is an investment for years of comfortable work. In terms of productivity, focus, and spinal health, this choice saves much more than constantly replacing chairs and enduring avoidable pain. Costco is not a place where everything is a win. Those items that look cheap, abundant, and convenient can sometimes be the cause of your budget silently leaking over the years. The most important lesson is not to avoid Costco, but to choose intentionally. Buying less, buying better quality, and using according to your needs is always more economical than buying a lot and wasting it. When you understand the true nature of each item, you are not just shopping smarter, but also preserving money, time, and peace of mind for the long term. Which tip from the video surprised you the most? You may have been to Costco dozens of times, but something is happening right in front of you that almost no one notices. you may be paying 50 to 60% more for familiar items simply because of a few quiet changes rolled out in 2025. From major brands being pushed off the shelves to product bundles that look cheaper but actually cost more, Costco is running a system so subtle that even longtime members struggle to avoid its traps. In the next few minutes, you'll see the secrets that, if you don't know them, turn every Costco trip into a hidden loss. You'd be awesome if you liked this video. Stricter membership enforcement. If you used to casually walk into the warehouse and only show your membership card at checkout, 2025 has completely changed the game. Costco is no longer as lenient as before. They've installed entry scanners right at the door to check your membership before you even reach the shopping carts. It sounds simple, but in reality, this is how Costco shut down the surge in card sharing that exploded once self-checkout became common. One member could bring a whole group to shop together, and Costco was losing millions from transactions they considered unfair to paying members. Now, that's over. When you walk in, if your card doesn't match your face or is detected as belonging to someone else, an employee will escort you right back out. The speed and strictness of the enforcement shocked many shoppers. But from a business standpoint, Costco is protecting its most crucial revenue source, membership fees. But here's the interesting part. They didn't close every door. The shop card remains the only legitimate loophole for non-members to shop. As long as a member loads money onto a shop card for you, you can walk in, pay like a regular member, and even buy gas or order food at the food court, all without paying the annual fee. Costco knows this, and they intentionally allow it. Because once someone uses a shop card regularly, chances are they'll eventually buy a membership of their own, so they don't have to keep asking others for help. The entry scanner closes the old loophole, but the shop card quietly opens a new one, though Costco still controls the entire game. And if you understand how the system works, you can save money and avoid getting blocked at the door. 2. Membership price increase. When Costco officially raised its membership fees late last year, many assumed it would be a major blow to shoppers' wallets and would surely push members to cancel. But surprisingly, renewal rates stayed near 90%, a level that almost no retailer can achieve. So why are people willing to pay more and still stay? The first reason lies in how Costco builds its core value. Once shoppers get used to cheap gas, essential items priced lower than traditional supermarkets, and perks like a generous return policy, they begin to view the membership as a financial tool. The annual fee becomes part of a family's savings strategy rather than an extra expense. Second, Costco adjusts membership fees only every 5 to 7 years. They don't raise fees frequently, nor do they increase them during periods of high inflation. This creates a sense of stability, helping members understand that the price change isn't random. It's a calculated decision based on long-term market conditions. Finally, longtime Costco shoppers often evaluate their yearly spending and conclude they save enough to offset the price increase. When they look at their total annual savings, an extra $5 or $10 doesn't change the overall value. This consistent delivery of real, measurable savings is exactly what keeps renewal rates high, even during times when the cost of living is rising. 3 secret price codes. Many people shop at Costco every week, yet overlook the key signals printed right on the price tags. Each tag contains codes that reveal whether an item is truly discounted, about to be discontinued, or a display model you might be able to negotiate for an extra markdown. Understanding this price tag language helps you avoid buying at the wrong time and lets you catch the best deals. When a price ends in 97, it means the item has been marked down from its original price. This isn't a temporary promotion, it's a real markdown, usually because the warehouse wants to clear it out before switching to a different product. For higher cost items like electronics, small furniture, or kitchen appliances, this code often leads to significant savings. Prices ending in .00 or 49 are usually manager markdowns. These often apply to items with slightly dented boxes, display units, or products the warehouse simply has too much stock of. This section is easy to miss because Costco doesn't put up special signs, but attentive shoppers often find markdowns deeper than typical sale events. The most important symbol is the asterisk in the top right corner of the price tag. When it appears, it means the item will not be restocked. If you like it, now is your last chance to buy. If not, you can keep an eye on it, because prices sometimes drop even further as inventory dwindles. Beyond price codes, there's another opportunity most shoppers overlook: negotiating display items. Products sitting on the floor, like TVs, desks, office chairs, or shelving units, are sometimes eligible for an additional discount if you ask a manager directly. They have the authority to adjust prices when an item has been lightly used, is missing non-essential accessories, or is about to be replaced by a newer model. 4. Free samples and the psychological strategy of reciprocity. Many people see Costco's food sample stations as a fun part of weekend shopping. Walking by, grabbing a small slice of pizza, a spoonful of soup, or a new snack. But behind those free samples lies a carefully calculated strategy, and if you don't notice it, you'll easily end up spending more without realizing it. First, understand this: samples are not a perk. They are a tool designed to influence purchasing behavior. When you receive something for free, your brain triggers a response known as reciprocity, the tendency to want to give back after receiving something. This makes the product next to the sample station feel more appealing, even if you had no intention of buying it before. Years of market research show that free samples can significantly boost sales, especially for new products or items with low brand recognition. The people staffing the sample stations are not randomly assigned. They come from specialized vendors and are trained in product presentation, pacing, and how to create engagement. When a small crowd gathers for samples, people walking by naturally become more interested. The crowd effect makes the product appear worth trying, which often leads to it being worth buying. The placement of sample stations is also strategic. You rarely see them in low-profit areas. Instead, they are positioned near high-margin categories such as prepared foods, snacks, premium items, or higher-value beverages. When you stop and wait for a sample, you spend time looking around, and your chances of adding something extra to your cart increase significantly. Like the video if this surprised you. 5. Kirkland Signature. Kirkland Signature is often seen as a safe zone for anyone trying to save money at Costco, but the reality is far more complicated. Not every Kirkland product has the same level of quality, and not every rumor about the brand is true. What matters is understanding how Kirkland operates, where its strengths lie, and where its limitations show. Kirkland isn't a single manufacturer. It's a network of partnerships between Costco and major companies across different industries. Some Kirkland items have been confirmed to come from the same production lines as well-known brands, which is why their quality is consistent while prices remain lower, thanks to reduced marketing and middleman costs. However, Kirkland doesn't always outperform national brands. Certain paper goods, detergents, or canned items receive mixed feedback depending on region and production batches. This makes sense, because Kirkland's priority is maximizing value per dollar, not competing in the premium category. If you expect every Kirkland product to be superior to the original brand, you may be disappointed in certain categories. Kirkland's biggest strength is its ability to maintain stable pricing. Costco purchases in huge volumes, negotiates directly with manufacturers, and doesn't invest in advertising, allowing prices to remain steady even when market costs rise. This creates the perception that Kirkland is cheaper but still trustworthy, especially for high-consumption items like batteries, paper towels, olive oil, and vitamins. Even so, smart shopping still requires selectiveness. Some Kirkland items are highly rated for quality and durability, while others are simply adequate for basic needs. Instead of assuming Kirkland is always the best choice, it's smarter to compare ingredients, packaging, and customer reviews. 6. Store layout designed to make you buy more. If you've ever walked into Costco intending to grab one thing and leave, only to roll out with a cart full of items, it's not because you lack self-control. The store layout is intentionally designed to lead you deeper inside, expose you to more products, and ultimately make you buy more than planned. Every aisle, display, and product position is arranged to disrupt your usual shopping patterns. Costco constantly rotates product placements so you can't develop familiar pathways. When you can't find the item you usually buy in its old spot, you're forced to walk through several more aisles, and each pass exposes you to new products. This increases the chance you'll develop a need or interest you didn't have before. The mindset of, "I'm already here, might as well look," keeps people in the store longer. One clear strategy is that essential high-demand items are almost never near the entrance. Rotisserie chicken, toilet paper, milk, and other ultra-popular products are always located deep inside the warehouse. To get to them, you must walk past rows of higher-margin items. Most shoppers stop to browse, and these small pauses cumulatively make a big difference on the final bill. The center aisle displays are also strategically positioned to catch your eye. Seasonal items, clothing, home goods, and new products are placed in wide, open areas that look inviting. If even one item piques your curiosity, you're already drifting off your original shopping list. Another subtle tactic is Costco's use of wide-open warehouse-style spaces. When products are displayed on pallets and tall racks, customers get the impression of direct-from-supplier pricing, which makes them more willing to try new items. However, the sheer size of the store means more walking, and the longer you walk, the more likely you are to add items to your cart. 7. The $1.50 hot dog, a deliberate loss to keep customers loyal. One of Costco's most important strategies is its willingness to take a loss on certain products to keep customers coming back. The two clearest examples are the $1.50 hot dog combo and the $4.99 rotisserie chicken. These are items almost everyone buys when they visit Costco, and they are products Costco intentionally keeps cheap, even though ingredient, transportation, and labor costs have increased for years. For rotisserie chicken, reports show Costco loses tens of millions of dollars annually to maintain the under $5 price. The massive yearly sales growth proves that the chicken isn't just a convenient meal, it's a destination product that drives repeat visits. Once people walk into the warehouse, they inevitably buy additional higher-margin products. Holding the chicken's price low ends up paying off for the entire business. Similarly, the $1.50 hot dog combo is the clearest example of Costco prioritizing loyalty over direct profit. Meat, packaging, and operational costs have all gone up, yet Costco refuses to raise the price. To maintain it, they even invested in their own production facility to control costs. This shows that the hot dog isn't kept cheap because of tradition, it's a trust-building tool. Strategic loss-taking allows Costco to maintain a reputation for stability and reliability. When customers consistently see clear value in everyday staples, they're far more willing to renew their membership and shop more often. 8. The $4.99 rotisserie chicken. Costco's $4.99 rotisserie chicken is the perfect example of a highly calculated loss leader. In a time when food costs are rising steadily and other supermarkets are increasing prices, keeping a whole rotisserie chicken under $5 is practically impossible when you consider real production costs. Yet Costco has kept the price unchanged for years, even though internal reports show they take a significant loss on this product category. The interesting part is that the chicken isn't just a ready-to-eat meal. It's the reason millions of members enter the warehouse every week. When customers come in just for the chicken, they inevitably walk past dozens of essential items. And in the majority of cases, they grab a few extras. This is the entire mechanism of a loss leader. Lose money on one item, earn it back through the rest of the cart. Costco also invested in its own dedicated production system to control costs and ensure consistent supply. Running their own facility allows them to stabilize quality, reduce exposure to market fluctuations, and maintain the fixed price longer than competitors. This gives customers peace of mind. No matter what happens in the market, they know they can still get a good, affordable meal every week. The rotisserie chicken has also become a signature part of the Costco identity. Regular shoppers see it as one of the trust points that justifies maintaining their membership, knowing they can always rely on a delicious, convenient, and fairly priced staple. 9. Costco gas stations. Costco's gas stations are one of the main reasons many people keep renewing their memberships every year. In a market where fuel prices fluctuate wildly, consistently being several dozen cents cheaper per gallon than nearby stations is an advantage that's hard to ignore. For a typical 14-16-gallon tank, you can save $3 to $6 every time you fill up. If you refuel regularly, those savings are large enough to almost pay for the membership fee on their own. It's not just the price. The fuel quality at Costco is another big reason for customer loyalty. Their gasoline meets top-tier standards, which require higher levels of detergent additives to help reduce carbon buildup in fuel injectors and combustion chambers. For newer vehicles that are sensitive to lower quality fuel, this adds long-term peace of mind when it comes to maintenance. Costco maintains competitive pricing by optimizing its operational costs. They limit payment methods to reduce processing fees, keep profit margins per gallon extremely low, and purchase fuel in massive quantities from suppliers. With fewer intermediary costs, they can offer a lower pump price while still maintaining overall profitability. 10. Ultra-flexible return policy. Costco's return policy is a major reason why many members stay loyal. It creates a sense of safety when buying high-value items. You don't need to keep your receipt. You don't have to give lengthy explanations, and most returns are processed quickly. This encourages shoppers to feel confident purchasing TVs, appliances, clothing, or packaged foods, knowing that if something doesn't work out, they can still get their money back. This flexibility is not accidental. Costco understands that when customers feel protected, they spend more and hesitate less when buying expensive products. It's a way to strengthen trust and encourage repeat shopping. Each year, returns account for a small percentage of total revenue, but the psychological impact and the loyalty it builds is far more valuable than the cost of processing returns. Of course, the policy isn't completely without limits. Electronics and major appliances have a 90-day return window. Items like diamonds, gold, alcohol, or personalized orders have their own separate conditions to minimize risk for the store. Costco also tracks return history through each membership. If a member has unusually frequent returns, they may be asked for additional review to maintain fairness across the system. Even with these boundaries, Costco's return policy remains one of the most generous in the retail industry. For consumers, this flexibility greatly reduces the risk of ending up with something that doesn't suit their needs. Understanding how Costco operates helps you buy exactly what you need while avoiding runaway spending. When you learn to read price codes, use your membership strategically, take advantage of low-cost fuel, and choose products with real value, every Costco trip becomes an opportunity to save rather than a risk of overspending. Taking control of the rules is the only way to always shop smart. Which tip from the video surprised you the most? You may have shopped at Costco for years, but there are secrets inside the warehouse that more than 90% of shoppers, especially older customers, have no ideas about. Those price tags that look random are actually hiding deep discount codes. The meat counter has a keyword that can get you cheaper cuts. And there are benefits Costco never advertises because they save you too much money. By understanding just a few of the secrets below, the amount you keep each month can easily increase by hundreds of dollars without changing your shopping habits. Today, you'll see what most members have been missing for years. You'd be awesome if you liked this video. Date codes on fresh products. When buying fresh food at Costco, most people look only at the large printed expiration date and completely overlook something far more important: the internal production date code. This is the code employees use to rotate stock. but regular shoppers rarely notice it. For items like packaged salads, bread, sushi, pre-cut meat, or fruit trays, a difference of just 1 to 2 days can determine freshness, crispness, and how long it actually lasts once you bring it home. Some warehouses use weekly or batch-based codes, often printed small in a corner of the label or on the edge of the tray. If you look closely, you'll notice that the trays placed in the back are often much fresher than the ones sitting in front. There's nothing wrong with asking to check the trays behind. Longtime members do this regularly to get the freshest batch, especially for items that spoil quickly like mixed salads, baguettes, and raw meat. The benefit of understanding date codes is huge. You avoid accidentally buying products that will decline in quality within a day or two, even though the printed expiration date is still far away. For households with smaller consumption patterns, this not only reduces food waste, but also saves a meaningful amount each week. 2. Built-in extended warranty for electronics. When people buy electronics at Costco, they usually focus on the price and the 90-day return window, but often overlook a bonus benefit with significant value: an automatic 1-year extended warranty. No sign-ups, no service plans. The moment you buy the product, you already have longer coverage than at most other retailers. This matters especially for items prone to issues after the first year, such as TVs, laptops, monitors, cameras, or tablets. At other stores, you'd need to buy an extended warranty just to get the same level of protection. At Costco, this extra coverage activates automatically using your membership purchase history, so you never have to worry about losing paperwork or forgetting to register. That's far longer protection than most traditional retailers provide. Most members don't know this because Costco doesn't advertise it heavily, but once you understand and use it, you significantly reduce your financial risk if the product develops issues after the standard warranty expires. 3. Decoding Costco price tags. Many people shop at Costco every week without realizing that the price tags aren't random. Every number has a meaning, and once you understand them, you'll know which items are true deals and which ones are simply regular stock. The first rule: prices ending in .97 represent real markdowns, not temporary sales. These are items the warehouse wants to clear out quickly, and the discounts are often deeper than shoppers expect. Another group is .49 and 79. These are not clearance prices but manufacturer deals. Costco negotiates a lower price and passes the entire savings to the customer without posting big signs. For essentials or repeat purchase items, these codes are worth paying attention to. If you see .00 or .8, this could indicate a display model, an open box return in like-new condition, or the final remaining batch of a product. You should check the condition carefully, but the price is usually much lower than the original. And finally, the most important symbol, the asterisk. In the upper right corner of the price tag, when it appears, it means the product will not be restocked. If it's something you like or you're waiting for a further discount, you should decide quickly, because once it's gone, there won't be another batch. 4. The chub trick at the meat counter. Many shoppers at the Costco meat counter simply grab the prepackaged trays of ground beef, assuming that's the only option. But in reality, you can get higher quality ground meat for a lower price with just one simple question. Do you have chub? A chub is a tube of original ground beef that hasn't been mixed with extra trimmings. When Costco packs meat into trays, they often blend in additional fat trimmings to reach a 12-15% fat ratio. This makes the meat richer, but also more expensive. If you ask for chub directly, you'll get leaner ground beef with a lower fat percentage, and it's usually significantly cheaper per pound. This benefits anyone who wants healthier meat and those who want better value. Leaner beef shrinks less when cooked, meaning you get more actual protein per pound. The important thing is that chubs are not displayed for customers, which is why most people don't know to ask for them. But the meat department staff are used to this request and will bring it out from the processing area. For families who regularly buy ground beef for spaghetti, burgers, chili, or weekly cooking, The yearly savings can be substantial. If you buy in bulk, you can portion the meat into 1 to 2 pound packs and freeze them. This keeps the quality high and helps you avoid buying higher fat, higher price trays just for convenience. 5. Costco Wedding Registry. Most people think of Costco as a place for bulk groceries and household goods, but few know they also offer a wedding registry for couples preparing to get married. This option is becoming more popular as wedding costs skyrocket and younger couples prefer practical gifts to start their new life. Costco's registry allows them to build a list that includes kitchenware, electronics, small furniture, home tools, flowers, and even wedding cakes. The most notable advantage? Gift givers do not need a Costco membership to purchase items from the registry. This makes gifting easier and still allows them to access Costco's typically lower prices compared to traditional retailers. Older relatives, grandparents, aunts, uncles also save significantly when giving meaningful gifts without going over budget. The registry also supports flexible gifting options like contributing to a goal-based fund, such as a honeymoon fund or a house savings fund. Couples can customize their list according to their needs, avoiding decor gifts they don't want or duplicates they don't need. Thanks to lower prices and practical products, Costco's wedding registry helps both gift givers and recipients maximize value without sacrificing quality. For families seeking a budget-friendly yet meaningful gift solution, it's a surprisingly smart option. Like the video if this surprised you. 6. Hidden batch discounts at the warehouse. One of the least known Costco hacks is the existence of batch-specific discounts, price reductions that apply only to a particular pallet or batch, not the entire shelf. This happens when Costco is preparing to switch to a new model, change suppliers, or simply wants to clear the remaining units of an older batch. And because these aren't official promotions, Costco doesn't post signs or update the shelf price. As a result, you may see the exact same product priced differently when scanned. One pallet at the front might show the regular price, while another pallet in the back or off to the side scans at 5% to 20% lower. This happens more often during seasonal transitions or when Costco receives a new shipment at a better cost. A simple way to take advantage of this hidden pricing is to scan items at the price check machines inside the warehouse. Or ask an employee to scan the barcode for the box you're holding. If a product is stacked across multiple pallets or layers, try checking several of them. Sometimes the difference is big, and it feels like a lucky win for anyone who knows to look. 7. The best time to shop at Costco. The time you walk into Costco has a huge impact on your experience and on how much you spend. Many people go on weekends out of convenience, but that's actually the worst time. The warehouse is packed, price tags are harder to read, samples run out quickly, and rotisserie chickens often sell out early. When the store is crowded, you get tired faster, overlook good deals, and find it harder to get help from employees. That's why choosing the right shopping time is one of the top tricks longtime members swear by. The ideal window is usually Tuesday to Thursday, around 3 to 4 p.m. This is after the lunch rush, when the crowd thins out. Employees have already restocked shelves, making it easier for you to read price codes, spot markdowns, and check for newly arrived batches. Popular items like meat, produce, bread, and seasonal products are also easier to pick without having to compete with a crowd. Early weekday mornings, especially the first 30 minutes after opening, are also great for a calm shopping experience. You won't struggle for parking, carts won't jam up, and employees will be more available to help lift heavy items or guide you to specific sections. Avoiding peak hours doesn't just make the trip more relaxing. It reduces the risk of rushed decisions, missing markdowns, or accidentally grabbing older batches because you didn't have time to check. When you shop at Costco at the right time, you fully maximize the benefits of warehouse buying without the stress of crowds. Flexible return policy. One of Costco's greatest advantages is its extremely generous return policy, which makes buying the wrong thing almost impossible. Not every store allows you to take home a product, try it, and bring it back with no complicated explanation. For many shoppers, especially older members or those watching their finances carefully, being able to try risk-free is a major benefit. Costco allows returns on most items, from packaged food and clothing to home goods and high-value electronics. You don't need to keep receipts because all purchases are tracked through your membership. If you buy something expensive but realize after a few weeks that it doesn't suit your needs, you can still bring it back for a full refund. This encourages shoppers to try new products without the fear of wasting money. However, Costco does enforce certain rules to maintain fairness. Electronics and large appliances have a 90-day return window. Special items such as diamonds, alcohol, or custom orders have stricter guidelines. Costco also monitors return patterns. If a membership account shows unusually frequent returns, they may review the account to prevent abuse. Even with these limits, Costco's return policy is still one of the most generous in all of retail. This flexibility gives shoppers confidence, especially when purchasing big-ticket items or trying something new. Executive membership, 2% rewards. Many people see the high price of the executive membership and assume it's just Costco's way of charging extra. But in reality, if you shop regularly, especially for groceries, medications, gas, and the occasional large purchase, the 2% reward can easily exceed the upgrade cost. The key point is that the 2% applies to most categories inside the warehouse. If your household spends a few $100s per month, which many families already do, you can earn back most or even all of the difference between the standard and executive plans. For seniors or large families who frequently buy food, vitamins, household supplies, and gas at Costco, annual rewards can reach hundreds of dollars. Another advantage is Costco's make-up guarantee. If your yearly reward doesn't cover the upgrade cost, they will refund the difference. This makes the executive membership almost risk-free for anyone with consistent shopping habits. Costco gas stations, consistent savings. For many members, Costco's gas stations are the most visible way to earn back the cost of membership. With fuel prices constantly fluctuating, having a reliable place where gas is consistently cheaper by several dozen cents per gallon is a major advantage. If you fill up your tank weekly, your annual savings can equal or even surpass the membership fee, even if you rarely shop inside the warehouse. What makes Costco gas appealing isn't just the price. The fuel meets top-tier standards, meaning it contains higher levels of detergent additives than the industry minimum. For newer vehicles or older cars with accumulated wear, cleaner fuel helps reduce carbon buildup in injectors and keeps the engine running more smoothly, potentially lowering long-term maintenance costs. Costco keeps prices low by optimizing nearly every step of the process. They purchase fuel in massive volumes, reduce transaction costs by limiting accepted payment methods, and keep profit margins extremely small. In return, the gas stations draw large numbers of members to the warehouse, boosting overall sales. Emergency preparedness kits. When walking through Costco's seasonal section, many people focus on camping gear or household tools, but overlook a very important category: emergency preparedness kits. These aren't ordinary food boxes. They're long-term survival kits designed for power outages, major storms, supply shortages, or unexpected natural disasters. Most kits have a shelf life of 20 to 30 years, meaning you buy them once and store them without constant monitoring. The contents are surprisingly comprehensive: freeze-dried meals, powdered milk, dehydrated vegetables, and high-calorie items like grains and soups. Their strength lies in stability and the ability to feed a family for weeks or even months, depending on the size of the kit. In emergencies, having safe, ready-to-use food drastically reduces stress and eliminates the need to scramble for supplies when stores are already overwhelmed. While the upfront price may seem high, the cost becomes very reasonable when divided by the number of days and calories provided, often cheaper than regular meals. Hidden services. Many shoppers think Costco is only good for groceries and household goods, But in reality, some of its best value comes from hidden services that many members overlook. The first is Costco Travel. Booking cruises, hotels, or rental cars through this platform often results in prices significantly lower than booking directly. Another service with substantial value is home and auto insurance through Costco's partner providers. These plans tend to have highly competitive premiums because Costco negotiates special pricing for members. For retirees or families looking to reduce monthly fixed costs, switching to a Costco-affiliated insurance plan can generate meaningful savings. Health-related services are also a major advantage, especially for older adults. Eye exams, hearing tests, and the pharmacy. Costco Optical offers eye exams at prices lower than most private clinics, while their hearing centers provide screenings either free or at very low cost. Costco Pharmacy is also known for prescription medications that are significantly cheaper than at many other retailers. And an important detail, you don't need a membership to use the pharmacy, a benefit most people don't realize. Price adjustment refunds. One of the most overlooked money-saving tricks at Costco is the right to receive a refund if an item you bought goes on sale within 30 days. Many members notice that something they purchased recently has been marked down, but feel hesitant to ask, or assume it's just bad luck. In reality, Costco makes price adjustments extremely simple and does not require you to return the item. Just bring your receipt to the customer service desk or submit a request online, and the price difference will be refunded quickly. This trick is especially useful for electronics, kitchen appliances, seasonal clothing, home goods, and any product whose price changes with new shipments. For high-value items, a single price adjustment can save you anywhere from tens to over $100. It's money many people unknowingly leave on the table simply because they don't check prices after buying. To make the most of this benefit, keep your receipts for at least 30 days. Store them in an envelope or a drawer, or simply take photos and save them on your phone. Each time you return to Costco, glance at the prices of items you purchased recently. If they've dropped, it only takes a few minutes to file the request and get your money back. Understanding how to use price codes, timing your shopping trips, maximizing rewards, and taking advantage of Costco's hidden services helps you control your spending without drastically changing your habits. Once you understand how the system works, you'll pick fresher products, get better deals, and avoid unnecessary waste. Which part of this video surprised you the most? Many shoppers walk into Costco's meat department believing that anything you buy here is automatically a good deal. But the truth is a lot more complicated. Some items look like a great value, yet hide details you'd never notice just by reading the label. Some cuts appear high quality, but come with vague sourcing information. Others are incredibly convenient, but loaded with more sodium and additives than most people realize. In this video, you'll see exactly what's worth your money and what deserves a second thought, so every dollar you spend on groceries feels smarter and safer for your family. You'd be awesome if you liked this video.
Wow!
1. Preparedness. If there's one cut that gets Costco shoppers genuinely excited, it's the USDA Prime Ribeye. At first glance, you'll notice the heavy marbling running throughout the steak. The very thing that gives you the tenderness, juiciness, and deep flavor often associated with high-end steakhouses. What makes Costco's Prime Ribeye so appealing is the price, usually a fraction of what you'd pay at a steakhouse, while still offering comparable quality. For anyone who loves cooking steak at home, this cut is definitely worth considering. However, it isn't completely perfect. Costco's Prime Ribeye comes from large industrial suppliers, and the packaging rarely tells you where the cattle were raised, what they were fed, or what farming practices were used. You're essentially buying based on the USDA Prime grade, meaning it meets marbling standards. But you get very little information about the ranch or production methods. For shoppers who care deeply about sourcing or sustainability, this is something to think about. Another issue is the thickness. Costco ribeyes are usually quite large and thick, averaging between 1.25 and 1.75 inches. While this thickness helps the steak retain moisture, it also means you need some cooking experience to get an even cook, a nicely seared exterior without leaving the inside too rare. Without practice, it's easy to end up with a steak that's beautifully browned on the outside but undercooked inside, or the opposite, overcooked and missing that natural prime-level tenderness. Some pieces also have excess fat or connective tissue that needs trimming before cooking, adding an extra step instead of just throwing it straight onto the pan or grill. In terms of real-world value, Costco's prime ribeye remains one of the strongest choices for a restaurant-quality steak night at home. You're paying for rich marbling, natural tenderness, and that bold, beefy flavor only prime-grade steaks deliver. And because Costco's price is typically lower than most grocery stores or premium butcher shops, many families buy a full tray, vacuum seal the steaks, and freeze them for future meals. The smartest way to maximize the savings. 2. Kirkland Spiral Sliced Ham. In Costco's deli section, the Kirkland Spiral Sliced Ham always stands out, thanks to its large size and very reasonable price. For many families, especially during the holidays or big gatherings, this pre-sliced ham makes meal prep dramatically easier. There's almost nothing you need to do. Just heat it up, brush on the glaze if you want, and you've got a fragrant, slightly sweet, tender ham that's easy for everyone to portion. Even better, Costco's price per pound is usually much lower than what you'd find at traditional supermarkets, making it a cost-saving choice when feeding a crowd. The biggest advantage of this ham is convenience. Because it's spiral sliced, each layer is evenly cut and separates effortlessly, far easier than wrestling with a whole ham and slicing it yourself. If you've ever struggled to carve a holiday ham, the ability to lift off clean slices with just a fork feels like a small miracle. The flavor is also consistent, mildly salty, gently sweet, tender but not mushy, and generally well-liked across different households. However, behind that convenience are a few things you should consider before dropping a 10-11-pound ham into your cart. First is the included glaze packet. Many people love that golden, glossy finish when the ham comes out of the oven, but few realize that the glaze is packed with sugar as well as various flavor enhancers and additives. If your family is cutting back on sugar or prefers a cleaner meal, you might want to skip the packet and make your own glaze with honey, apple juice, or a small amount of yellow mustard. Another factor is the size. Costco's spiral hams are almost always large. If you're only cooking for 2 or 3 people, you need a plan ahead of time, whether that's freezing leftovers or mapping out a week's worth of ham-based meals. Ham sandwiches, ham with eggs, ham soup, baked ham. Without a plan, what starts as a convenient purchase can quickly turn into ham fatigue after several days of repetitive meals. There's also the sodium content to think about. Processed deli meats tend to be high in salt to maintain moisture and flavor, and this ham is no exception. Anyone monitoring blood pressure or reducing salt intake should pay attention to portion size and pair the ham with plenty of vegetables to balance things out. 3. Kirkland Bacon. At Costco, Kirkland's signature bacon is consistently one of the top-selling items. It's easy to see why. The price is usually noticeably lower than major national brands, while the quality is good enough to satisfy even serious bacon lovers. The slices are fairly thick, not crumbly, and when cooked, they brown nicely, smell great, and shrink less than many of the thin bacon varieties from traditional grocery stores. For families who cook breakfast at home or use bacon in multiple dishes, the 4 individually wrapped packs are extremely convenient. Use one and freeze the rest to keep everything fresh. That said, like many convenient products, Kirkland bacon comes with a few considerations before you commit to buying it in bulk. The first is sodium content. Bacon is salty by nature, but Kirkland's version is no exception, with relatively high sodium per serving. If you're on a low-sodium diet or have a history of high blood pressure, this is something to watch. On top of that, Bacon, no matter the brand, is not a healthy food. Each slice contains a significant amount of saturated fat. Another point to note is that there's no nitrate-free option in the Kirkland bacon lineup. Nitrates are common preservatives that help maintain color and extend shelf life. While they're approved for use, many people try to limit nitrates in their daily meals due to long-term health concerns. If you want a more natural choice, you'll likely need to switch to other brands sold at Costco, usually at a much higher price. Sourcing is also worth mentioning. The packaging is minimal and provides very little information about the farm or how the pigs were raised. You know you're buying a standard industrial product, but you don't get details about animal welfare or farming conditions. For shoppers who care deeply about transparency, this may feel limiting. Still, when you look at the overall value, Kirkland bacon remains an excellent option for breakfast, sandwiches, salads, or any dish that benefits from bacon's salty, smoky flavor. You just need to use it in moderation and be mindful of portion size. Like the video if this surprised you. 4. Kirkland ground beef. At Costco, the ground beef section is where shoppers often linger the longest. Not because it's beautifully displayed, but because the price usually makes people feel like they're getting a really good deal. But before you grab a multi-pound package, you should understand exactly what this product offers, the benefits, the limitations, and the details many shoppers overlook. With just a bit of information, you'll know when Kirkland ground beef is the right choice and when you should think twice. The first thing to consider is sourcing. Labeling laws introduced in 2015 allow processors to list the location of packaging without stating where the cattle actually came from. That means the ground beef you buy may include meat from the US, Canada, Mexico, or even Australia, all mixed together with no specific breakdown. This doesn't affect food safety, but it does make it harder for consumers to track origin, especially if you prefer domestic beef or want more insight into farming practices. Another key point, this is not grass-fed beef. Cattle used for this product are primarily grain-fed on industrial diets to speed up weight gain. As a result, the beef contains lower omega-3 levels and has a different fat profile compared to grass-fed beef. If you prioritize healthier fats in your diet, this is something to think about. The large package size also presents challenges. If you don't have a clear plan for how to use or store the meat, it can spoil faster than you expect. The best method is to portion it into 1 to 1.5 pound packs and freeze them as soon as you get home. This prevents waste and makes it easy to thaw only what you need for weekly meals. In terms of texture, Kirkland ground beef usually has a balanced fat ratio, not so fatty that it releases excess grease, but enough to keep dishes tender and flavorful. However, because the product is produced at a large scale, you may notice slight inconsistencies from batch to batch. One pack might be leaner, another a bit fattier. This doesn't significantly impact quality, but it's helpful to know so you can adjust your cooking accordingly. 5. Kirkland organic chicken thighs. Among the meats people frequently look for at Costco, Kirkland organic chicken thighs are always a top choice because the price is far more affordable than what you'd pay at a specialty organic grocery store. For those who prioritize cleaner ingredients but still want to save money, this is a practical option for weekly meals. The USDA organic label guarantees the chicken is raised without antibiotics, without growth hormones, and fed organic feed, a big advantage in a market where many industrial farms rely heavily on antibiotics to maintain production levels. In terms of flavor, organic chicken thighs tend to be firmer and naturally sweeter compared to conventionally raised chicken, making them great for grilling, braising, frying, or hot pot. Costco's pricing makes it easy to add organic protein to your family's meals without overthinking the budget. However, like many large-scale organic products, there are a few things you should understand to set the right expectations. First, organic doesn't mean free-range or pasture-raised. Many people assume organic birds roam outdoors, but most of Costco's organic chicken still comes from large industrial farms. These farms only need to meet USDA requirements: organic feed, no antibiotics, and minimum living condition standards. This doesn't reduce the nutritional value, but it's very different from the idyllic farm-raised chickens running freely in open fields image many people imagine. Next is the lack of sourcing transparency. The packaging doesn't specify which farm raised the chickens, where they're produced, or which region they come from. This is common in the industry, but it leaves those who care about supply chain transparency wanting more information. If you prioritize detailed farm sourcing, this might be a drawback. Another limitation is inconsistent availability. Some weeks you'll find the shelves fully stocked with organic chicken thighs, and other weeks they're completely gone, only to reappear without warning. This happens because organic supply fluctuates with demand and seasonal conditions, and Costco prioritizes fast-moving items. So if you want to use them regularly, it's best to buy extra when they're available and freeze what you don't immediately need. Despite a few limitations, Kirkland organic chicken thighs remain a strong option for anyone trying to eat healthier without overspending. What matters is understanding the reality. Organic does offer genuine benefits in nutrition and quality, but it doesn't always mean naturally raised in the romanticized sense. 6. Kirkland beef hot dogs. If you've visited Costco's deli section, you've definitely seen the jumbo-sized Kirkland beef hot dogs, almost twice the size of a standard hot dog and consistently among the best sellers. Many people grab them right away, thinking, these must be the same hot dogs from the food court, tasty and cheap. That's not wrong, but there are a few important things to understand before bringing home a huge pack. The most noticeable strength is the value per piece. When you break down the cost by quantity, each hot dog is priced much lower than premium brands sold at traditional supermarkets. And, as expected, Kirkland hot dogs use 100% beef, with no added chicken, pork, or byproducts, which is common in many budget-friendly brands. The flavor is bold, the texture pleasantly firm, and they're easy to cook by grilling, pan-frying, or boiling. They're perfect for quick meals or gatherings. However, this is a product where nutritional value needs to be considered. Because these hot dogs are larger than standard ones, each piece contains a fairly high number of calories, sometimes equivalent to a full meal. Add a bun and toppings, and the calories can climb quickly without you noticing. The sodium content is also quite high, so anyone watching their blood pressure or sodium intake should portion carefully. Even though they're made from 100% beef, the hot dogs still contain sugar, flavor enhancers, and preservatives to maintain texture and taste. This isn't unusual. Most hot dogs contain similar ingredients, but it's important for shoppers to understand, especially if serving them to kids or older adults. One feature many people appreciate is how well they store. These hot dogs freeze beautifully and maintain good quality over time. If your family occasionally hosts cookouts or needs quick weekend meals, buying a large pack and freezing them in smaller portions is both cost-effective and convenient. 7. Organic ground turkey. In Costco's fresh and frozen meat section, organic ground turkey is a product many shoppers tend to overlook. It's not as eye-catching as ribeye or whole chicken, but it's a great option for anyone wanting lighter meals with less fat, while still getting plenty of protein. With a price that's often significantly lower than what clean food or organic stores charge, Costco's organic ground turkey helps you maintain a healthy diet without pushing up your weekly grocery bill. The first important point is the USDA organic certification. This ensures the turkeys are fed organic feed, raised without antibiotics, and not given growth hormones. They're also raised on a vegetarian diet with no animal byproducts, something many shoppers look for when buying ground meat. As a result, this is a lighter protein source for those following a diet or trying to reduce saturated fat from red meat. Nutritionally, organic ground turkey contains substantially less fat compared to regular ground beef. Even a small serving provides enough protein for a full meal, helping you stay full longer without exceeding your calorie goals. That's why many families use this product for burgers, meatballs, chili, or simple stir-fry dishes. However, There are a few things to keep in mind. The tube-style packaging makes it hard to visually inspect freshness, texture, or moisture levels. Some shoppers report that certain batches have a slightly softer texture or release more liquid during cooking. This doesn't affect food safety, but may require slight adjustments in preparation, such as letting the meat drain a bit or cooking it longer to evaporate excess moisture. Another consideration is inconsistent availability. Some weeks the shelves are fully stocked with organic ground turkey. Other weeks, it disappears entirely. This fluctuation is tied to supply schedules and seasonal demand, especially toward the end of the year when turkey products are more popular. If you want to use it regularly, it's best to buy extra and freeze it to avoid interruptions. There's also minimal farm-level information. The packaging displays the organic certification, but doesn't specify where the turkeys were raised or the exact supplier. For consumers who want complete transparency, this may feel like a missing piece. Even so, Costco's organic ground turkey delivers solid value. It is healthier, lower in fat, priced well below competitors, and versatile for many everyday dishes. As long as you understand the product's characteristics and have a good storage plan, it's an excellent choice for a balanced diet without increasing your monthly spending. Knowing the details of each type of meat at Costco helps you buy exactly what you need, avoid waste, and choose products that fit your health goals. When you understand sourcing, storage, and how each product behaves during cooking, you can take advantage of good prices without sacrificing meal quality. Every smart choice contributes to family savings and makes your weekly meals safer and more intentional. Which tip from the video surprised you the most? Have you ever wondered why Kirkland products are so inexpensive, sometimes unbelievably cheap? Yet the quality is strong enough to make major national brands nervous? Many people assume Kirkland is just a budget private label, but the truth behind it is far more bold. Costco runs a business model that most retailers simply cannot replicate, and that model is what allows them to sell items at prices that can be 20–30% lower than the market while still keeping healthy profit margins. If you've ever asked yourself, how does Costco manage to sell things this cheap? This is the answer they never openly advertise. You'd be awesome if you liked this video. 12. No advertising. One of the biggest reasons Kirkland can offer such shockingly low prices is that Costco stays almost completely out of the advertising game. While major brands spend millions on TV commercials, billboards, social media campaigns, and celebrity endorsements, Costco chooses to eliminate that cost entirely. It's not that they don't want publicity, it's that they've built a system where quality and price speak loudly enough on their own. By not advertising, Costco avoids a major expense that, at other retailers, always gets added back into the product price. You may not realize it, but every time you buy a big-name shampoo, part of what you're paying for is the ad you watched on YouTube or the billboard you drove past. Kirkland doesn't do that. They cut the cost and let customers keep the savings. What's fascinating is that Costco doesn't need traditional advertising because they already have one of the most powerful marketing teams in the world, 90 million loyal members. When someone tries a Kirkland product and likes it, they naturally recommend it to friends, family, and coworkers. That's the strongest form of advertising. Genuine, free, and incredibly effective. Skipping advertising also means Kirkland doesn't have to polish its image. No flashy slogans, no fancy packaging, no complex marketing campaigns. Every resource is directed toward two things: quality and price. When customers see that for themselves, trust grows naturally, far more effectively than any promotional campaign. In other words, Kirkland doesn't need to make noise to get attention. They stay quiet, but it's a very intentional kind of quiet, allowing each product on the shelf to speak for itself through its real value. 11. Streamlining the supply chain to cut costs. If you think low prices only come from good negotiating skills, Costco will change your mind. They don't just negotiate well, they build an entire supply chain designed to minimize costs at every stage. That's why the exact same product, when sold under the Kirkland label, can be priced significantly lower while offering equal or sometimes even better quality. Costco looks at the entire journey of a product: farming, manufacturing, packaging, and transportation. Wherever something can be optimized, they act immediately. That might mean changing packaging materials, reducing weight, or adjusting box dimensions so they can fit a few extra layers of product on each pallet. These tiny adjustments, multiplied across millions of units a year, generate massive savings. Another major factor is the elimination of middlemen. Instead of buying through distributors, Costco negotiates directly with manufacturers, sets its own standards, oversees quality closely, and ensures consistent production. Without sharing profits with intermediaries, the cost of goods drops sharply, and that's exactly why Kirkland prices feel so much more reasonable than similar branded items. Costco also invests in an extremely streamlined operational system: large warehouse-style stores, minimalistic displays, and small but highly efficient staffing. All of this keeps overhead low, allowing nearly every dollar saved to be returned to the customer. 10. Kirkland products are carefully selected. Many people mistakenly believe Costco can just slap the Kirkland logo onto any product and call it a day. But the truth is the exact opposite. With fewer than 4,000 items in the entire warehouse, almost 10 times fewer than a traditional supermarket, any Kirkland product that makes it onto the shelf has to pass an extremely strict screening process. Costco doesn't chase quantity. They choose items that the majority of members buy regularly: toilet paper, peanut butter, olive oil, vitamins, and so on. The logic is simple. By focusing on fewer items, they can control quality more tightly and negotiate much stronger pricing. A Kirkland product doesn't just have to be cheaper, it must meet higher standards, or at least match the national brand that dominates that category. What's interesting is that Costco tests products exactly like a real customer would, using them, running blind comparisons, and evaluating everything from taste and durability to overall user experience. If a product doesn't pass, it's eliminated immediately. No favoritism, no exceptions for suppliers. That's why when you see a bottle of oil, a bag of nuts, or a jar of vitamins with the Kirkland label, you can almost assume it has already beaten out a long list of competitors before it was allowed on the shelf. 9. Co-branding with major companies to build trust. One of the hidden strategies that built Kirkland's reputation for quality is its partnerships with major brands. Many shoppers see the simple packaging and assume it's just another generic store brand. But behind the scenes, a surprising number of Kirkland items are actually produced by big-name companies everyone recognizes. It's like buying a designer product at a budget price. A clear example: Kirkland coffee is roasted by Starbucks, and Kirkland aluminum foil comes from the same manufacturer behind Reynolds, a brand nearly every American household uses. Partnerships like these give customers instant confidence because the quality is essentially guaranteed by a well-known brand. But the real reason goes deeper. When Costco co-brands, they only have to display one product instead of two: the national brand and the Kirkland alternative. That saves shelf space, reduces inventory costs, and prevents customers from being overwhelmed by too many choices. The result is that every Kirkland item on the shelf feels trustworthy from the start, making shoppers more willing to choose it without hesitation. This built-in credibility is a major reason Kirkland has become one of the most successful private labels in the United States. 8. One unified brand saves massive marketing costs. Another reason Kirkland is shockingly affordable lies in how Costco manages its branding. Instead of creating dozens of separate private labels for different product categories, like many retailers do, Costco consolidates everything under a single name: Kirkland Signature. It sounds simple, but this strategy saves them an enormous amount of money every year. No need for separate design teams for each product line. No need to run marketing campaigns to build recognition for multiple small brands. No need to pay legal fees to register dozens of different trademarks. Just one name: Kirkland. Consistent, familiar, easy to remember, and immediately recognizable as Costco quality. Thanks to this consistency, Kirkland enjoys a unique advantage. Every time a customer tries one Kirkland item and likes it, they naturally become more confident in trying others. This creates a ripple effect of trust, and Costco doesn't have to spend a single dollar on advertising to achieve it. More importantly, when everything, packaging, visuals, quality standards, is centralized under one brand, production and management costs drop significantly. Those savings don't stay in Costco's pocket. They show up directly as lower prices for shoppers. Like the video if this surprised you. 7. Fewer choices. One thing that surprises many people on their first trip to Costco is that there seem to be fewer choices compared to regular supermarkets. But this simplicity is actually a core strategy that keeps prices low and makes Kirkland the default choice for millions of members. Instead of offering 10 different shampoos, 20 laundry detergents, or an entire aisle of cereal, Costco keeps only the 1 to 2 best products, and most of those are Kirkland. Reducing the number of options means customers feel less overwhelmed, spend less time comparing, and, most importantly, are far less likely to accidentally buy something low quality. When the store has already filtered everything for you, the shopping process becomes much easier. This isn't just about convenience, it's a carefully calculated business strategy. When people hesitate less, they buy faster, buy more, and return fewer items. On the other hand, fewer choices mean Costco buys massive quantities of each item. Suppliers love this because they get large, stable contracts, and Costco benefits from significantly lower pricing due to bulk purchasing. With lower input costs, Kirkland can maintain great prices without sacrificing quality. 6. They avoid putting the Kirkland label on highly competitive categories. Here's something many people never notice. Costco doesn't try to slap the Kirkland logo onto every possible product category. They are extremely strategic about choosing the battlefields they enter, and they stay far away from markets where national brands have unshakable dominance. The clearest example is soda. Costco once attempted to sell Kirkland Cola, but after realizing Pepsi and Coca-Cola completely owned consumer mindshare, they pulled out almost immediately. No stubbornness, no wasting money to fight a losing battle. This strategy protects Kirkland's image as a brand that is always good, always reliable, instead of one constantly compared to iconic names. Costco understands that if they introduce Kirkland in categories where consumers are fiercely loyal to national brands, they won't just lose market share. They risk damaging trust in all other Kirkland products. So instead, they focus on categories where quality is easy to measure: dry foods, spices, household goods, vitamins, dairy, baked goods, and coffee. In these categories, customers are willing to try something new, and once they try Kirkland once, it often becomes their go-to choice. 5. A strict 15% maximum markup rule. One of Costco's non-negotiable principles, and a major reason customers trust them so deeply, is the strict rule that no product may have more than a 15% markup. It sounds simple, but in the retail world, this number is almost unheard of. While other retailers freely raise prices by 30-40% to cover advertising, overhead, and profit, Costco voluntarily limits itself to a markup so low that many experts say no other retailer would dare to do the same. So how does Costco maintain this pricing structure? Because they understand that trust is their most valuable asset. When customers know for certain that nothing in their cart is overpriced, they shop more confidently, return more often, and are happy to renew their membership every year. That trust is the foundation of Costco's long-term success, not squeezing every product for maximum profit. What's interesting is that the 15% limit also puts pressure on suppliers. If they want to work with Costco, they must offer extremely competitive pricing. Many brands accept lower profit margins in exchange for enormous volume contracts. The result is that customers get genuinely low prices, not fake discounts or short-term sales tactics. 4. Buying directly from suppliers. If you've ever wondered how Kirkland can keep prices so low while maintaining quality that rivals major brands, the answer lies in one crucial step. Costco eliminates all middlemen. Instead of going through distributors before reaching the store, the traditional retail model, Costco works directly with manufacturers. This cuts out an entire layer of cost, a layer that shoppers ultimately pay for at other stores. By working directly with suppliers, Costco can negotiate better pricing, control quality more tightly, and set clearer production standards. Every adjustment in ingredients, processes, or packaging is closely monitored. This direct relationship is what allows Kirkland products to maintain a level of consistency that many other private labels struggle to achieve. Another advantage is that Costco places massive orders, giving manufacturers strong incentive to offer lower prices in exchange for long-term stability. Many companies accept slimmer profit margins because they gain huge, steady contracts and reduce inventory risks. Thanks to this direct purchasing model, the entire supply chain becomes shorter and more transparent, and as operating costs drop, the final retail price drops as well. 3. The growing preference for private labels fuels Kirkland's rise. In recent years, consumers have become far more careful with how they spend their money. Prices are up, living costs have jumped, and many people now share one new habit. They choose private label products if the quality is good enough. Gone is the mindset that national brands are always better. Shoppers today are practical. They simply pick what is affordable and trustworthy, regardless of the logo. This shift has paved the way for Kirkland's rapid growth. Customers try one Kirkland product, like it, and then confidently try others. Over time, Kirkland becomes the default choice in multiple categories: groceries, household goods, vitamins, personal care items, and more. When budgets tighten, people want a brand that feels dependable, and Kirkland fits that need perfectly. Another factor driving this trend is Costco's transparency. They don't hide the fact that they partner with major manufacturers. They don't exaggerate claims or overmarket their products. That honesty makes private label goods feel less like a gamble and more like a smart, informed purchase. 2. Bulk buying psychology boosts sales. One unique aspect of Costco, something you rarely see in regular supermarkets, is the natural urge to buy more than you planned. No one tells you to do it, but the store layout, oversized packaging, and the bigger the pack, the better the price structure automatically trigger a stocking up mindset. Many members walk in intending to buy a few essentials, but after seeing large packs at lower unit prices, they immediately think, I may as well buy extra so I don't have to come back soon. And before they realize it, their cart is full. This instinctive behavior allows Costco to move enormous volumes, boosting sales while reducing operating costs. When customers buy items by the case, by the crate, or in jumbo packs, restocking frequency drops, and fewer employees are needed for shelf management. The entire store becomes more efficient, while shoppers feel like they've scored a bargain. Even if they bought slightly more than they needed, Kirkland benefits the most from this behavior. When you see a large Kirkland pack priced significantly lower than the name brand equivalent, it's easy to justify putting it in your cart because it feels like the smart choice. And in many ways, that's exactly why so many people leave Costco with a bigger bill than expected, but still feel completely satisfied. 1. Membership is the primary source of profit and the reason prices stay low. If you ask what truly keeps Kirkland prices consistently low, the answer isn't the products themselves. It's the membership model. Many shoppers never realize that membership fees are the very backbone of Costco's entire system. With tens of millions of people paying $60 to $120 a year just for the privilege of entering the store, Costco generates a massive stream of revenue that requires almost no operating cost. And this stable profit is what allows them to sell products at prices other retailers simply cannot match. Thanks to membership income, Costco doesn't need to earn much from each product. They can maintain extremely thin margins, even breaking even or taking slight losses on loss leaders like rotisserie chicken, milk, or bottled water, as long as members keep coming back. When shoppers believe everything in the store is fairly priced, their loyalty becomes automatic. Membership also creates a psychological effect. Once you've paid to shop there, you naturally want to get your money's worth, which means buying more. That behavior allows Costco to maintain huge sales volumes, even though they make very little profit on each item. And as revenue grows, they have even more reason to keep prices low, creating a positive cycle that benefits both Costco and shoppers. When you step back and look at Costco's entire model, you'll see that Kirkland products aren't cheap by accident. They're cheap because the whole system is engineered around customer value, from operational efficiency to eliminating advertising, from low markups to leveraging membership fees. Everything is designed to help you pay less while still getting high quality. Once you understand this, you'll feel even more confident choosing Kirkland and know how to optimize spending for your family. Which tip from the video surprised you the most? Every time you walk into Costco, you might be missing the chance to quietly build a survival shield without even realizing it. The end of the year is when prices fluctuate, extreme weather hits, and supply chains are easily disrupted. And it only takes one blizzard, one power outage, or one sudden price spike to show the difference between a household that's prepared and one that has nothing ready. The good news is, you don't need to spend a lot, and you don't need to panic buy. Just add a few strategic items to your cart each time you shop at Costco, and within a few months, you'll have a stockpile as solid as stone. Today, we're getting straight into exactly what those items are. You'd be awesome if you liked this video. 1. Bottled water, large water packs. If there's one thing you absolutely cannot be without in any emergency, it's water. No electricity, no gas, no internet. You can still manage. But go just a few hours without water, and your entire household becomes vulnerable immediately. That's why every Costco trip should include at least one case of bottled water or a large jug, even if you think you still have enough at home. What makes Costco's water worth stocking isn't just the low price. It's the large case sizes, easy stacking, and long storage potential. Bottled water usually has a shelf life of 1 to 2 years, but if stored correctly, away from sunlight and high heat, it can last even longer for emergency use. During the winter, frozen pipes, extreme cold, storms, or boil water advisories are more common than people realize, and even a minor incident can make clean water suddenly harder to access. Another advantage of buying water consistently is avoiding the chaos of panic buying. When severe weather is forecast, prices jump, shelves empty, and your options shrink fast. But if you quietly stock up through your regular Costco trips, you'll always have enough water for drinking, cooking, and backup needs without scrambling at the last minute. 2. Rice. If you had to choose just one item to start building a stockpile with, rice would almost always be at the top of the list. It's not flashy or expensive, but it is one of the most dependable calorie sources you can rely on in any situation. Costco sells 25 LLB and even 50 LLB bags at excellent prices, and it's something you should keep adding to your cart even if you still have some at home. Rice has advantages that very few other foods offer. It is easy to store, has a long shelf life, and is incredibly versatile. You can use it for dozens of meals: breakfast, lunch, stir-fries, soups, or paired with canned meats. And if stored properly using Mylar bags with oxygen absorbers, rice can stay good for decades. Even if you don't plan on extremely long-term storage, simply rotating through what you have ensures you always maintain a stable food supply. What many people overlook is that winter is often when weather becomes unpredictable, transportation slows down, and food prices can spike rapidly. In moments like these, having $50, $100 lbs of rice already at home dramatically reduces stress during power outages, snowstorms, or temporary shopping disruptions. It's a sense of security no canned food can fully replace. 3. First aid kit. A basic medical supplies. In any emergency, whether it's a power outage, a snowstorm, or just everyday household mishaps, the thing that determines how calm your family stays isn't how much food is in the kitchen. It's whether you have proper medical supplies at home. A real first aid kit creates a sense of true safety, because with just a few basic items like bandages, antiseptic, gloves, pain relievers, or vitamins, you can handle most minor situations without relying on a pharmacy that might be closed or roads that aren't safe to drive on. Costco is one of the best places to build up these supplies little by little. There's no expensive piecemeal shopping like at small convenience stores. Everything is sold in larger quantities, at better prices, and enough to last for months. A family-sized box of medical tape can last an entire year. A large bottle of hydrogen peroxide or betadine can treat countless small injuries. And a bulk pack of Tylenol or Advil from Costco can get you through flu season without running out halfway through. This becomes even more important toward the end of the year, when colds, aches, slips, minor cuts, or kitchen accidents become more common. Having a fully stocked medical cabinet means you stay in control. No last-minute runs, no waiting in bad weather, and no scrambling during holiday closures when pharmacies shut down. 4. Batteries. In any power outage, one seemingly small item determines how well your household can function. Batteries, flashlights, radios, clocks, navigation tools, kids' toys, and even some medical devices rely on them. No one wants to discover that their flashlight doesn't turn on when they need it, or that the radio won't work during an emergency alert. That's why every Costco trip is an opportunity to quietly add one more pack of batteries to your emergency supply. Compared to regular retail stores, Costco sells batteries at a much lower price, and always in large packs, like 40-count AA or AIA bundles that are so affordable you barely need to think about it. This makes stockpiling effortless. No need to buy in bulk all at once. Just grab one extra pack each visit, and within a few months, you'll have enough batteries for nearly every device in your home, for everyday use and emergencies. Batteries also have a long shelf life, often 8 to 10 years if stored properly. That's why they're considered one of the few emergency items you can never have too much of. Even if you don't need them right away, when a blackout, snowstorm, or disaster hits, you'll be grateful for every spare box you have. 5. Canned meat. Walk through Costco's aisles, and you'll notice one category that seems to never sit on the shelf for long: canned meat. The appeal isn't just the long shelf life, it's the fact that canned meat is one of the few foods that can become a complete, nutritious meal with almost zero effort. Open the can, and you already have a ready-to-use protein source. No marinating, no defrosting, no waiting. For many households, canned meat is the backup puzzle piece in the meal plan. Short on a main dish? Grab a can of tuna. Want something different? There's shredded chicken or salmon? Need to boost protein? Corned beef does the job instantly. And the best part is that whether you cook it quickly or simmer it longer, the flavor stays consistent. Another advantage, buying by the case at Costco drops the price per can significantly. This is especially helpful for families who like consistency. Same quality, same portion size, same shelf life every time. You never have to worry that fresh meat is too expensive today, or that the store ran out of the good cuts. Most importantly, canned meat doesn't require you to change your cooking habits. You can use it in everyday meals or save it for days when you want to cut prep time without sacrificing nutrition. Like the video if this surprised you. 6. Cooking oil. In the kitchen, some ingredients are used occasionally, but others show up almost every single day. Cooking oil is one of those everyday essentials, and because you use it so often, buying oil at Costco becomes a very practical decision. It's not just about saving a few dollars. The large-size bottles help you maintain consistency in your cooking without constantly running out and needing to restock. Many people think of cooking oil as nothing more than something for frying or sautéing. In reality, It affects the flavor and texture of countless dishes, from salads and pasta to roasted or pan-seared meals. The type and quality of oil you use directly influence both nutrition and taste. Costco sells olive oil, avocado oil, canola oil, and coconut oil in large bottles, not just saving money, but also helping you keep your meals consistent. Using the same oil over several weeks or months delivers much steadier results than switching brands constantly with smaller supermarket bottles. Another advantage is that oils at Costco often come from reputable brands with transparent ingredients. For households that love home cooking, this brings peace of mind. You know exactly what you're using, and you know the quality won't fluctuate from one shopping trip to the next. 7. Peanut butter. Among the foods that are compact, filling, and high in energy, peanut butter has a special place. Just one small spoonful can keep you satisfied, and the flavor appeals to both adults and kids. That makes it one of the most versatile pantry staples. And Costco sells large jars at very reasonable prices, making it easy to keep a steady supply at home. Peanut butter's biggest strength is its stability. It stays fresh for a long time at room temperature, requires no special storage, and isn't affected much by seasonal changes. With just a few basic ingredients, bread, fruit, oats, or crackers, you can make a quick snack or breakfast that's filling and energizing. It's also incredibly flexible. Spread it on toast for breakfast, blend it into smoothies for extra protein, use it in baking, or pair it with fruit to curb sugar cravings. Costco typically sells peanut butter in a twin pack of large jars, helping you save money while reducing the number of shopping trips needed to restock. 8. Instant noodles and dry pasta. Every kitchen has those foods that you don't think about much, but you're always glad to have on hand. Instant noodles and dry pasta are exactly that type of staple. They require no refrigeration, take up very little space, and can become a full meal in just a few minutes. For busy households, they're practically a lifesaver on days when you don't have time for complicated cooking. Costco sells large boxes of noodles and big bags of dry pasta at excellent prices. So just grabbing one extra pack each visit is enough to maintain a steady supply. The great thing about these items is how adaptable they are. You can keep them simple: a quick bowl of noodles, a plate of pasta with jarred sauce, or customize them however you like. Add vegetables, canned meat, spices, or broth. Their flexibility makes them a friendly ingredient for almost any situation, from everyday meals to last-minute dishes that still provide enough nutrition. Dry pasta also has an advantage that many other starches don't: an extremely long shelf life, with quality that barely changes if stored in a dry place. Instant noodles share the same convenience: easy to stack, easy to portion, and easy to track. Stocking a few cases at home doesn't create any pressure because they can be used year-round. Another reason noodles and pasta are worth buying at Costco is the value. Purchasing them in bulk significantly lowers the cost per serving. You save money, and you always have reliable ingredients ready to build meals for your family any day of the week. 9. Canned jarred fruit. While most people focus on rice, canned meat, or instant noodles, canned fruit is often overlooked, even though it can make your meals feel much more pleasant. You won't always have fresh fruit available in the kitchen, and fresh fruit isn't always priced reasonably. A few jars of peaches, pears, mango, or mixed fruit from Costco can fill that gap instantly. Easy to eat, naturally sweet, and ready to serve the moment you open the lid. What makes canned fruit especially worth buying is its stability. You don't have to worry about fruit ripening too fast, spoiling unexpectedly, or having to rush to use it before it goes bad. It holds its quality for a long time without requiring complicated storage, giving you a reliable source of vitamins for any meal. Households with kids find it even more useful. Just open a jar, add a few spoonfuls to yogurt or oatmeal, and you have a healthy snack in seconds. Another advantage is that Costco sells canned fruit in large cases, making it easy to organize in your pantry. You can portion it out for breakfast or post-work snacks, or use it as a topping for desserts. Most importantly, it brings balance to your meals. Alongside starches or proteins, canned fruit adds a bright, refreshing note without much prep work. 10. Canned Jared vegetables. In every kitchen, vegetables are the one item that rarely stays fresh for long. Just a few days of neglect, and they wilt, discolor, or lose their crunch. That's why having canned or jarred vegetables at home provides a sense of real security. You know you always have fiber-rich ingredients to round out a meal, even on days when you can't make it to the grocery store. Costco sells large packs containing multiple cans of beans, corn, carrots, or mixed vegetables, neatly packaged and easy to manage, perfect for anyone building a stable pantry without worrying about spoilage. One great thing about canned vegetables is that they hold their texture surprisingly well during cooking. You can add beans to stew, toss corn into salads, or mix canned vegetables into stir-fries or pasta. Everything blends in naturally, without the artificial taste many people assume canned veggies have. Many home cooks even prefer canned vegetables for soups and stews, because they help dishes thicken and come together faster without a lot of prep. Cost-effectiveness is another big advantage. When you buy canned vegetables by the case at Costco, the price per can drops significantly compared to buying individually at regular grocery stores. This is especially helpful toward the end of the year when cooking demand increases and fresh vegetable prices tend to fluctuate wildly. With just a couple of cases of canned vegetables in your pantry, you can prepare a wide range of meals without relying on the unpredictable market. 11. Medicine and supplements. In most households, the medicine cabinet only gets attention when someone has a fever or a headache. But if you look closely, you'll notice that this is the category that quietly shrinks over time. A bottle of vitamins runs out without anyone noticing, the pain relievers are down to the last few tablets, and the cough syrup is only 1/4 full. Restocking one item at a time at the pharmacy is not only time-consuming, but also expensive. Costco solves that problem with large bottles, high quantities, and prices that are significantly more reasonable. Costco's selection of medicines and supplements is so wide that you can refill your entire year's supply through occasional visits. Vitamin C, D3, omega-3, multivitamins, melatonin, cold medicine, pain relievers, and digestive aids, all available in large-sized containers, easy to store, and not something you must repurchase often. For larger families, this is the simplest way to ensure everyone has what they need without multiple trips to different stores. What makes this category worth adding to your cart every time you shop at Costco is its consistency. You know exactly which brand, dosage, and formulation you're using, and when you need to restock, you just buy the same bottle again. Another advantage, large format supplements usually have long shelf lives, so you don't have to worry about finishing them quickly. You can build a simple habit. Pick one type each Costco trip. This week, vitamin C, next time fish oil, then cold medicine after that. Within a few months, your medicine cabinet becomes fully stocked and neatly organized without ever feeling like stockpiling. 12. Toilet paper. There are items in the home that no one pays attention to until they run out. Toilet paper is the perfect example. It's so ordinary that people forget about it, but when it's gone, everything comes to a halt. And because it's something you use every day, consistently and in large volume, Costco is one of the smartest places to buy it. You get a huge quantity at a much lower price per roll. What's worth noting is that Costco's toilet paper, especially the Kirkland brand, usually has more layers and better consistency than many similarly priced retail brands. This means you're not just paying less per roll, you're using each roll for longer, making it even more economical. A pack of 30 rolls may sound like a lot, but once you start using it, you'll see it fits naturally into your household's routine and eliminates the constant need for small, frequent purchases. Buying toilet paper in large packs also makes storage simple. You can keep the whole box in the garage, closet, or laundry room, without having to repackage anything or worry about it going bad. It's a category that doesn't react to temperature, doesn't require special storage, and doesn't need fast rotation. Just place it on the shelf and use it when needed. Building a consistent shopping list for each Costco trip isn't about hoarding. It's about creating stability in your home through simple, essential items. When the important things are always on hand, you avoid last-minute spending, prevent rushed purchases, and stay in control no matter what changes around you. This is the smartest and most sustainable form of preparedness. Which tip from the video surprised you the most? If Costco were a strategy game, most shoppers would still be playing on beginner mode, because there are massive benefits hiding in plain sight, and if you don't know about them, you're missing out on hundreds of dollars in savings every year. Costco isn't just a discount warehouse. It's practically a second wallet that helps smart shoppers save money on everything from home essentials to small business needs to healthcare. From under-the-radar services to restaurant-grade fresh foods, what you're about to discover will completely change the way you look at Costco. You'd be amazing if you liked this video. Why is Costco so cheap? Costco doesn't lower prices the traditional way. They don't plaster 50% off signs everywhere or run endless promotions. But if you compare item by item with major retail chains, you'll notice most products here are consistently cheaper, quietly but reliably. The main reason is that Costco operates on a very different model. Instead of raising prices to cover operating costs, they strip away almost every unnecessary expense. Simple warehouse layouts, basic lighting, and no elaborate product displays. They don't hire big marketing teams, print flyers, or run TV ads. Every dollar saved in operations gets passed directly to the customer through lower prices. On top of that, Costco doesn't rely on high margins for profit. They have a strict commitment. They will not mark up any product more than 14% above cost. Meanwhile, other retailers often mark up 25 to 50%, sometimes even more, depending on the item. This ceiling ensures customers get high-quality products at fair prices, without hidden markups. Costco's primary revenue doesn't come from product sales. It comes from membership fees. Shoppers pay a yearly fee in exchange for stable, near-wholesale pricing. With millions of active members, Costco maintains a steady income stream without needing to inflate product prices. Their Kirkland signature brand also cuts out middlemen. Many Kirkland products are actually made by well-known national manufacturers, but without expensive advertising, fancy packaging, or retail markups. The result? Significantly lower prices without sacrificing quality. Costco doesn't chase short-term discounts. They build long-term value pricing, allowing shoppers to buy good products at good prices without waiting for sales. And that's what truly sets Costco apart. 2. A full range of on-site services. Convenient and cost-saving. Shopping at Costco isn't just about filling your cart with groceries and household goods. What makes Costco different is the range of on-site services integrated in the same location. Convenient, fast, and often much cheaper than outside options. First is the member-only gas station. Prices are typically 5 to 25 cents per gallon lower than the local average. For anyone who fills up weekly, the yearly savings add up quickly. Plus, Costco gasoline meets top-tier standards and is rated higher than many low-cost gas options elsewhere. Inside the warehouse, you'll also find lesser-known services: optical exams, prescription lenses, and vision screenings for kids. Glasses are significantly cheaper than at major retail chains, yet the eye exams remain accurate and warranties are solid. Nearby is the Hearing Aid Center, where members can get free consultations, try devices, and order custom solutions. Costco's pharmacy offers both prescription and over-the-counter medications, often at prices lower than large drugstore chains, especially for long-term prescriptions. And if you need photo printing, passport photos, birthday cakes, or even wedding flower arrangements. Many of these services are available directly in-store or through Costco.com. They may not look flashy, but when you need them, they're reliable, clearly priced, and free from hidden fees. Combining so many services under one roof saves not only money, but also time. A single morning at Costco can cover fueling your car, picking up prescriptions, getting new glasses, and buying groceries. It's convenience that few retailers can match, especially at such consumer-friendly prices. 3. Extended warranty and exclusive member support. One of the reasons so many shoppers stay loyal to Costco isn't just the low prices, it's the peace of mind that comes after the purchase. Not every retailer stands behind its customers the way Costco does, especially when it comes to electronics and appliances. When you buy a TV, laptop, washing machine, or refrigerator at Costco, you automatically get an extra year of warranty on top of the manufacturer's standard coverage. If the manufacturer provides only 1 year, Costco gives you 2, with no extra cost and no registration required. This is a benefit exclusively for members. If you want even longer protection, Costco partners with Allstate to offer extended warranties of up to 5 years at prices far lower than other retailers. The best part is the transparency. Clear pricing, no hidden fees, and no strange clauses. Beyond warranties, Costco also offers its own technical support service called Concierge Service. If your product has an issue, you simply call the support number. A US-based technician will help diagnose the problem, walk you through troubleshooting, or coordinate with the manufacturer if a warranty claim is needed. You don't have to figure things out alone, and you're never bounced back and forth between multiple parties. What's surprising is that these benefits aren't heavily advertised. Many people only learn about them after they've made a purchase and experience the support firsthand. But once someone has had Costco step in and take care of things, they almost always return for future purchases because they feel genuinely supported. 4. Furniture. Furniture is one of the most underrated product categories at Costco. Many shoppers never expect a wholesale warehouse to offer pieces that are stylish, high quality, and surprisingly affordable. But the reality is that Costco sells furniture with modern designs, solid materials, and prices far lower than specialty furniture stores. The main reason is Costco's strict cap on profit margins, even for large items like sofas, cabinets, and dining sets. While many furniture stores mark up items by 100% to 200% or more, Costco limits its margin to no more than 14%. That alone can save shoppers hundreds, even thousands of dollars on major furniture purchases. In addition, most furniture items at Costco are highly curated. Instead of stocking dozens of mediocre options like typical furniture chains, Costco selects only a few standout designs with strong build quality and broad appeal, then sells them until they're gone. The warehouse may look minimalistic, but every piece has a reason to be there. Many items also include quality features that are hard to find elsewhere at the same price. Real wood instead of particle board, metal handles instead of plastic, soft close hinges, or dense, supportive cushioning. And one huge advantage, many pieces are delivered fully assembled. For anyone who has battled a 6-page assembly manual, this is an enormous relief. Costco also rotates seasonal furniture collections, especially early spring for patio and outdoor sets, and fall for living room and bedroom furniture. These periods are when you'll find the newest designs, strong pricing, and limited-time items that won't be restocked. Like the video if this surprised you. 5. Home goods and DIY supplies. Many people go to Costco only for groceries or everyday essentials, but they often overlook the home goods section, a place filled with surprisingly high-quality items priced well below the market. From small kitchen appliances to home repair tools, Costco doesn't offer a huge variety, but nearly every item is worth considering if quality is your priority. The products here tend to fall into the better tier. Sturdy cookware with solid handles, reliable coffee makers, and air fryers that last and are easy to clean. They may not be the absolute cheapest models, But when you compare the price to the build quality, they often outperform similar items sold at supermarkets or electronics stores. Costco also focuses on stocking items that already have strong reputations. Many products come from trusted brands, such as Ninja, Cuisinart, LG, and Whirlpool, often paired with periodic discounts that make them even cheaper than online prices. Some items are special Costco-exclusive versions with upgraded specs or added accessories compared to the standard retail models. For home repair supplies, things like light bulbs, power strips, air filters, or even paint and insulation, Costco typically sells them in combo packs or bulk boxes, offering great savings if you're doing small-scale repairs at home. Items like LED bulbs, batteries, and air filters cost significantly more when purchased individually at regular hardware stores. Another advantage: inventory rotates by season. Each time of year brings a new wave of useful items. Spring brings lawnmowers and pressure washers, and fall brings heaters and air purifiers. Instead of searching multiple stores, Costco essentially pre-filters the best seasonal items for you. 6. High-quality fresh food. If you've compared fresh food across different supermarkets, you've probably noticed something. Costco maintains higher standards than most places, yet prices are often lower. This is especially true for meat, seafood, fruit, and vegetables, the things that directly impact your meals every day. Costco's beef is known for freshness and tenderness. Some warehouses even carry USDA Prime, the highest grade of American beef, at prices far more reasonable than premium markets or butcher shops. Chicken and pork are well packaged with clear dates, and organic options are available if you need them. Salmon is one of Costco's top-rated items. The trays are kept at precise temperatures. The fillets are firm and bright in color, and the flavor is clean. Good enough for raw preparations if you know how to handle it. Many shoppers buy Costco salmon to make sushi at home because they trust the handling and sourcing. Most produce at Costco is sold in bulk, whole cases or large bags, which works well if you cook often, have a large household, or prefer to portion and store food ahead of time. Seasonal fruits like cherries, strawberries, grapes, and blueberries typically cost less than at regular grocery stores, while offering more consistent quality. Storage and handling also make a big difference. Costco's refrigerated sections are spacious, clean, and organized. Products are rotated frequently, which means less risk of wilted produce, damaged fruit, or items nearing expiration, issues that happen more often elsewhere. If you need large quantities, you'll also find value packs like 5 lb ground beef trays, 60-count egg boxes, or 10 lb sacks of onions, perfect for big families or small businesses. With fresh foods, choosing the right place to shop affects both meal quality and weekly spending. Costco understands that, and they do their job quite well. 7. Clothing and name brand apparel. People don't usually think of Costco when they want to buy clothes, but anyone who has ever walked by just to take a look is often surprised by how good the quality actually is. You won't find flashy fashion displays or mirror-lined fitting rooms here. But if you want a well-made shirt, a pair of quality pants, or comfortable loungewear at a great price, Costco does a remarkably good job. Costco frequently carries items from familiar brands like Levi's, Adidas, Puma, Champion, Calvin Klein, Eddie Bauer, and Columbia, but at prices far lower than what you'd pay at the brand's own stores or major fashion chains. Many pieces are Costco exclusives, meaning they're made specifically for Costco, sometimes with slight design differences but the same overall quality. Loungewear, activewear, pajamas, socks, and underwear are among the highest-rated categories. An Eddie Bauer pajama set here often costs only $15 or $20, while the same brand at Macy's or Amazon can go for $60 or $70. T-shirts and hoodies from big brands typically range from $10 to $25 and are made with thick fabric, sturdy stitching, and far better durability than fast fashion alternatives. For kids' clothing, Costco is also a great stop. Children's items often come in multi-piece bundles, are reasonably priced, and use soft, easy-wash fabrics. perfect for growing children who constantly need new sizes. Seasonal items like sneakers, winter jackets, and school backpacks also rotate through the shelves. One major advantage is the return policy. If you take home a shirt and later decide it's not quite right, you can return it without any complicated requirements.